Hello friends and family. So I decided to make another video for you, but I'd like to tell you that I really appreciate if you comment on my videos. You're not commenting. Do you even watch my videos? Like, I put in a lot of effort to make these videos for you, so please make some comments. That would be really nice. Onegaishimasu. So today I want to talk to you about a topic that you keep asking me. It's about school life in Japan and about teachers. So I'm going to talk about three things. So the first thing that I want to talk about is the job of teaching. So not only Japan but all over the world, teaching is quite a difficult job because the thing is that teachers don't get paid for a lot of the work they do. So teachers' working hours is, for example, between 8 and 4, but then we have to take home work to mark. We also have to prepare classes, and if we're doing something like preparing PowerPoints or making some kind of a flow chart or posters or those kind of things, we have to do that in our own time, and obviously we're not paid for that. So a lot of us do a lot of work at home. Okay, so depending on what kind of teacher you are, if you're an elementary school teacher, you're probably making a lot of pictures, drawing posters, making visual aids, and you're doing that at home, obviously. If you're a middle school teacher or a high school teacher, you're probably preparing PowerPoints or marking work, or you're doing those kind of stuff for your students, right? Like, a lot of that is done in your private time. And I don't know about university teachers, but they're obviously marking a lot of work, and the level of essays in university are quite high, so you're going to have to put a lot of effort to mark those papers. So obviously teaching is it's a very difficult profession because you're not paid for a lot of what you're doing, and also it takes a lot of energy. It's one of the most energy intensive jobs there are because you're always having to output. Your energy's output. It's not like just listening to people or just like sitting in front of a computer all day where there's no input and output. It's completely all output, and obviously we are doing input as well obviously, but it's so much of output. So in the morning you go to work and your energy is really high, and then when you come home it's really low, and that's the same for a lot of jobs. I'm not saying it's particularly teaching is a particularly high energy using job compared to other jobs. I'm just saying teaching is a very high energy using job, so it is very stressful. So that's the first thing I want to talk about. So teaching all over the world is low paid and really energy intensive. The second thing I want to talk about is the reasons for going into teaching in Japan specifically. So in teaching, teaching is usually a government job, right? Of course there's lots and lots of private schools, but mainly it's a government job. So some people, they're not really interested in being a teacher, but they want a government job because you get a pension. So they're like, oh, I want to be a teacher in a government school because you're guaranteed a job for the rest of your life, and you're going to get a pretty nice pension when you finish. So that's why some people go into teaching in Japan, because they want that pension. A lot of people go in because they love kids, obviously, and that's the same all over the world. Kids are just amazing, and working with kids is really rewarding. You can learn so much stuff of kids. They're just really interesting, and obviously elementary school kids are going to teach you different things to high school kids. In elementary school, children are really innocent, and it's all from the heart, and they're very cute in elementary school. In middle school, it's very challenging. They're going through puberty, and they're going through all these changes, not only physically but mentally, emotionally. So it's very challenging. But I think if you can make it as a middle school teacher, you're able to connect with a very special kind of age group. Like, it's that age group. You're not a child, you're not an adult, and you're going through all this turmoil, and if as an adult you can connect with that age group, I'm like, wow, like, I'm really impressed, because I think that's probably the hardest job out of all the 4 different types of teachers, elementary, middle, high, university. I think middle school is the hardest, just because you have to be their friend, but they don't want to be your friend. But you have to be their friend, because you can't do anything if you're not friends with them, right? So you can't connect with them, you can't give them any messages, they're not going to listen to you. So I think that's the hardest. So yeah, that I can't do that. I wouldn't ever be able to be a middle school teacher because I think I'm too fun and nice, and I think that they would just like dismiss me, that they'd be like, oh yeah, she's like that kind of teacher, like whatever. I think in middle school you have to be a lot stricter than I am. I just can't. I don't have that in me, so yeah, I can't do that. Anyway, in high school, you have to treat them like an adult while knowing that they're still kids. I think that's like a skill in itself. So, I that's also very hard. I think being an elementary school teacher is really hard because you have to know the whole curriculum, because elementary school teachers in Japan teach everything. So, like, not only do you have to know how to teach English and maths, but you have to be able to do social studies, history, like everything, music, blah, 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 blah. So, yeah, that's, like, too hard for me. And the problem with elementary school teachers is you have to be so energetic because, you know that kids' attention span at the age is, like, very, like, this. You have to continuously keep them entertained. So like, how do you do? I don't know how to do that because I'm like, okay, 5 minutes, and you're like exhausting me right now. So just off you go, play by yourself, and you always have to be kind to them. You have to be like, oh, let's play. Okay, oh, let's do this. Oh, let's do that. I'm like, okay, now my energy's gone. So I'm really tired now, and I just can't talk to you. So, oh my god, my washing machine is really loud. Sorry about that. It's supposed to be a new washing machine, but it's like, it's acting like something that's from the 1990s. Like, seriously, what the hell? Anyway, just ignore my washing machine. Sorry about that. Okay, obviously I don't know much about university teachers, but I'm sure it's pretty stressful because I guess, like, the problem with university teachers is, like, the kids, they think they're adults and they're technically adults by the law, but they're not, right? Like, they're like 21, 22, they're still children, like, hello, man. So, yeah, imagine, like, trying to treat a 22-year-old like an adult, but really knowing that they're still babies. And being like, okay, you don't know anything, but I have to pretend like you know everything, because otherwise I can't connect with you. And I think in university, the students are more dismissive, because they're like, whatever, like, I'm an adult, I'm so cool. Yeah, I don't know. At least in high school, they still listen to you because they're like, okay, you're the teacher. So they have a bit of respect for you, whereas I think in university, they're just like, yeah, whatever. You know, I'm cool. I'm a university student. So I'm just not really, I don't want to deal with that. I prefer high school kids, okay? Because they're so cute. Oh my god, they're so cute. But they like come to me for advice. They're like, oh, like, what should I do? I'm in love, but I'm too scared to tell him. I'm too scared to tell her or whatever. So cute! Oh my god! Like, he's so cute. Oh my god. Or they'll just be like, oh, like, I'm really tired. You know, my home life is stressful or whatever. I think that's nice. They come to me for advice, so I appreciate that. Anyway, so yeah, that's the second thing I wanted to talk about, like the reason for being a high school teacher in Japan. Like, a lot of people do it because they love the kids, a lot of people do it because they want a government job. Obviously there's like other reasons why they do it, because they're like narcissists and they're like, I hate kids, so I want power. Like, one of my colleagues is like that. This particular colleague loves power, so I bet they love, like, telling their kids to do stuff. They're like, I have the power. So yeah, I don't like those people, obviously. Anyway, I don't know, why else would you be a teacher? I guess because you like your 9-to-5 job and you want to come home and sleep, but you think that's what the job is, but really, like, you realize that it's not like that after working as a teacher for a bit. Anyway, whatever. Oopsies. So I think the main reasons are government job and loving of the teacher, like the fact that you're teaching people, you're helping people, you're working with children. It's really rewarding, makes me really happy that I can do this job, because it makes I'm really happy. I love doing it. Kids are so cute. Kids are lovely. I mean, you got a few crappy kids who are like, I hate you because you're the teacher, and I hate you. You got those kids for sure, but a lot of them are very, especially in my school, respectful, kind. They're sweet kids, so I appreciate them. And the third reason about the whole teaching thing, the third thing I wanted to talk about the whole teaching thing in Japan. Generally, what does the job entail? So, I don't know about other countries, but a teacher, especially a high school teacher in Japan, in a government job, not only are you teaching, like, not only do you have the job of actually teaching classes, but you also have another job. All teachers will have another job. So either they'll be a homeroom teacher, so they're taking care of 40 students. So either they'll be a homeroom teacher, or they'll be seito shidobu. Seito shidobu means you're in charge of student welfare. So if there's any problems with students behaving badly, or they're not following the school rules, or their dress is bad, or they wear makeup, or you gotta yell at them. The teachers that yell, the yelling group, that's seito shidobu. So they're responsible for student discipline. Okay, and then obviously, and student welfare. So if you've got like a student being bullied or something, that goes to seito shidobu. Then you've got like the teachers who are in charge of timetables and like scheduling. So, we got sports day coming up, so we need to change the timetable, or we have like culture festival coming up, so we got to do that. Okay, like they're in charge of making the timetable. Oh my god, my legs are hurting. Okay, so you've got that. Then you've got a group of teachers who are responsible for events. So they're organizing sports day, they're organizing music festival, they're organizing culture festival, they're organizing all these different events, or like open high school where kids from outside can come and have a look at classes and decide if they want to come to our school in the future, like middle school kids. So you've got all these different groups. You got like a few other groups that I probably don't even know exist. So you got those jobs, or you have jobs relating to cleaning the school. You have to have a cleaning group. So in Japan and Korea, kids clean their own classrooms. So teachers, they're in charge of a cleaning group, and you go around after school, you go clean the classes together. So this group's responsible for their homeroom, this group's responsible for the music room, this class is responsible for like the garden or whatever. So you've got that kind of job as well. And then obviously you've got like, you have to take care of your particular students if they come after school or at lunchtime and they're like, oh, I don't understand this, can you help me? And if you're like a maths teacher, some kids, they're just like really brazen. They'll just come into the staff room and they'll be like, oh, excuse me, can I get help from a maths teacher? And it's like, I don't even teach you, kid. Like, kids come to me all the time. They're like, 失礼します。英語の先生いらっしゃいますか? They literally just come into the staff and they're like, is there an English teacher here? And then they'll look at me and they'll be like, 助けて. I'm like, who are you? I don't even teach you. What the hell? So, yeah, and then they'll be like, この問題わからへん. They'll be like, I have this problem. Teach me. I'm like, I don't even know what is this? This I don't teach your class, kid. What? Anyway, so that's like a thing. So teachers have to be responsible for that. So we have to teach random kids that we don't even teach. Yeah, after school, lunchtime. Okay, and the last thing that teachers have to do is we have to do bukatsu. Bukatsu means club activities. So in Australia, there's activities after school. You got sports activities, you got music, you have like art club or poetry club or whatever. You got all these different activities, extracurricular activities that kids do after school, that the school runs, okay? Now, in Australia, you have a different teacher who takes care of them, especially sports activities. You have like a sports teacher who's in charge of volleyball, or you have like the swimming teacher who takes care of swimming club. You have the art teacher who takes care of art club, or you have like the flute teacher who takes care of orchestra, or the choir teacher who takes care of choir. Okay, you have a particular teacher for a particular job because they're trained in that. But in Japan, no, you don't have that. You just have like the maths teacher who's in charge of handball club. You have the chemistry teacher who's in charge of swimming club. Like, you have the kokugo no sensei, the Japanese language teacher, in charge of badminton club. And it's like, do you even know how to play badminton? Like, my friend, colleague slash friend, she is the badminton teacher, and she was telling me, she was like, so yeah, I've been assigned to the badminton club, and I don't even know how to hold a racket. I'm reading up about it right now, and I was like, right, this system is flawed for many reasons. So basically, all teachers are forced to do bukatsu. So, like, even I have to do bukatsu. So my bukatsu, my club activities are English-based activities. So I'm in charge of English club, I'm in charge of speech contest, I'm in charge of debate club. So all these clubs, like, we train like once or twice a week, depending on, and for example, speech contest, that's only done like during the speech contest time, so it's done for like 2 months, I reckon, and we train like after school, not every day, but every 2 or 3 days. And so yeah, pretty much I have to do those things whether I like it or not. I have to stay after school, and I'm not paid for it, so that sucks. But hey, guess what? My English club is only twice a week, and it's only for like an hour, so it's not even that bad after school. But like, think about the sports club teachers, like this the basketball teacher, the teacher in charge of basketball club. His kids train like 4 hours a day, after school for 3 hours, and lunchtime and before school combined for 1 hour. And they do that every day. And another thing about bukatsu, about this club activity thing, is like, especially sports clubs, they train every single day, every day of the week, every month of the year. So in Australia, we have like summer sports, winter sports, and like we're not doing the same activity every single day from the first year of our schooling until the end of our schooling. Whereas in Japan, you train every single day, Monday to Saturday or Monday to Sunday, depending on the sport. No holidays. You train on the holidays, okay? In the holidays, not on the holidays. In the holidays. You train like every single day in the holidays. 4 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours, depending on sport. And every single month of the year. So, like, if you're in tennis club, you'll be playing tennis in January. You'll be playing tennis in June. You'll be playing tennis in October. There's like no, oh, tennis is a summer sport, so let's just do it in summer. No. So it's mental, right? Like, what the hell? Like, why don't kids get a break? No holidays. So, you got summer holidays from July, end of July, and the whole of August. So you got like, what, 5 or 6 weeks? No holidays. They train every single day, like 3 hours, 4 hours, like Saturdays, on the holidays. What? Anyway, no comments. So, yeah, so you got teachers having to do bukatsu, and obviously they've got like their own activities. Like I told you, they've got their homeroom teachers, or they're in one of these like organizing committees within the school. And then they've obviously got their classes to teach. And remember I told you bukatsu goes on the weekends and the holidays? That's why teachers don't have any holidays, because they have to come to school every single day, Saturday, Sunday, as well as holidays, like school holidays. So no, there's no holidays. So by law, we're government workers, so we're supposed to get 20 days of holiday per year. But we can't take those 20 days because, like, if we do, we wouldn't be able to do the sports activities, or we also have to work on the weekends, and we're not paid for it. My friend, she's the badminton teacher and also the Japanese language teacher. She has to work every single Saturday and Sunday, and she gets paid 2,000 yen for 1 day on the weekend. 2,000 yen is enough to buy a meal, like moderately costing me. And I'm like, what? Why are you even accepting this money? You should just be like, fuck this shit, man. Okay? And she's like, yes, but what should I do? It's so like exploitation. I'm like, yes it is. So anyway, so that's the system. Obviously the workers, they know it's exploitation, but they don't know what to do about it. Everyone's doing it. Everyone's totally underpaid and overworked. Welcome to Japan. But they're not doing anything about it. So I'm not gonna change the system because it's not even my country, so it's not my right to go in and be like, we need revolution, because it's really not for me to say anything because it's not my culture. It's probably really rude if I try to say something because I look like, back in the day during the shokuminchi, how do we say that in English? Colonization, that's the word I wanted. Colonization of other countries. You know how like the powers, they came in, they were like, oh, your culture's crap, let's change it. So I don't want to be like that. So I'm just gonna be like, okay, it's your culture, you guys fix it or not. I'm just the observer. So anyway, so workers are totally underpaid and overworked, so they're exhausted, and they don't take holidays for the reasons that I outlined above. And that is the general life of a high school teacher. Obviously, I'm talking from high school experience because I'm in the high school system. But I think a lot of them, they still love it. They come to school every day, they love their kids, and they cry when their kids graduate. So obviously that means that they love it. And I guess like there's nothing that you can do, because there's always going to be good parts about a job and bad parts about a job, and that there are lots of bad parts about being a high school teacher or a teacher, because you've got kinds of stuff. You've got to work Saturday and Sunday and all that stuff. But there's a lot of good things as well. The kids are really sweet. They write you letters when they graduate. They want to take pictures with you, and they say thank you, and that is a really nice feeling. And they cry when they graduate, and you cry too because you love them. So there's a lot of good things about being a teacher. So with the whole bukatsu thing, so I said like the sports teachers, the teachers who work in sports clubs, they're obviously working Saturday, Sunday and holidays, but some of the culture clubs, they get holidays. So for example, English club, we're off on the holidays. Art club, literature clubs, photography club, they're all off on the holidays. So those teachers don't actually have to come to school on the holidays for club. And also on the weekends as well. But obviously we still come to school on the holidays because we only get 20 days off. Same as other government workers. We don't actually get like special holidays because the kids get holidays, but we don't. So we do have to come to school during the holidays. And we do, I mean, people are like, oh, what do you do on the holidays? Like, what activities would you be doing? We prepare classes for next semester. And there's a lot of things going on in the holidays. Like, for example, there's meetings, there's like certain activities that we have to plan for next semester, then obviously preparing classes. There's actually quite a few things. And then I usually clean my class folders and get rid of stuff that I don't want to update my classes or make things more beautiful or like more better presentable for the next semester or whatever, or next year. I'm like, oh yeah, this class didn't work, so let's get rid of it, let's think of a new class, this kind of thing. So I'm actually quite busy in the holidays. Sometimes I don't really have a lot to do, but that's the same with the teachers. So some people are just reading books on their desk. I think it's a Japanese cultural thing, like you're expected to come to work. So yeah, anyways, I think it's the same in Korea and China. Anyway, so I just wanted to talk about being a teacher in Japan, and I hope you learned some things. And please comment, okay, comment, and tell me what you want to hear about next time, okay? Thank you, bye.